Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is, Gateway's got it. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM-certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to gatewaybuickgmc.com, look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. And welcome to episode 203 of The Mom Game. I'm Emily, she's Julie. We are not in studio, we are not together, and it's for good reason, on a lot of fronts. And we're gonna get to all of that as we welcome you inside the Coppola studio, which is not really the Coppola studio, because usually we're on our normal home, which is the Coppola studio.
It's the Coppola home studio.
Tonight we're at the Coppola home studio, and you've got all the Coppola line. All
Don't be
the
jelly.
Coppola line, which you intend to share. Totes jail. Yeah, Totes jail.
I don't think they would allow.
Not jail. Totes
Coppola
jelly.
in jail.
They wouldn't. But you know what I do have? I have Noble Vines, which is the sister of Coppola. So I've got that. You've got the
This is what I'm sipping
Coppola,
on tonight.
the good stuff.
This Pinot Noir.
Okay, what is that?
Really good. It's from the Coppola Diamond Collection. The Pinot Noir.
And that's where the good stuff's at.
Is.
It's the Diamond
It is.
Collection.
And I brought this
like.
too just to show our friends, because this is one of my favorite rosés, the Prosecco Rosé from Coppola, and these are just the best to have on hand.
You're a big bubbly rosé girl.
I'm a big bubbly girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like most.
Yes. Because you're bubbly.
I feel like most like girls things that I go to or mom deals or whatever, if you bring a bottle of bubbly, most people like it. Most people are into bubbles. And they're very receptive to the bubbles. And then this is nice for.
They are.
We actually had steak tonight from Outback. Hi, Howdy. Hi, Hattie.
You did. I mean,
so you know,
this is what happens when you shoot at home.
Hi, Hattie girl. What's up? What are you doing?
Oh, good. Miss Julie says hi. What's up?
She's right.
The sky is up. Also, Hattie got grounded today.
Oh, so you're stuck to the ground. You're not up. You're down.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later when she's not around. But yeah, so Hattie has all kinds of time on her hands to hang out with Mom.
That's just, part of the deal, Hattie.
I know. It is. Okay, let's talk about, you need to go back in your room and get ready for bed. I love you.
What are we going to talk about?
We're talking about Anna. Anna had to go to the hospital this week.
She's okay. Thanks for asking, girl.
We're going to talk about it with Miss Julie. Yes.
Bye, Hattie.
Yes. Okay, bye everyone. Okay, bye. Love you, honey. Okay, so the reason we're at home is because we were supposed to shoot on Monday, which it is Monday. It's Monday evening. We were supposed to shoot on Monday because I go to Lubbock on Tuesday for Rangers Winter Caravan appearance with Josh Young. And then Wednesday, as I've told everyone, I leave for Mexico. So excited.
Which part of Mexico?
So we had to shoot on Monday this week. I'm going to Puerto Vallarta. So I love Puerto Vallarta. I don't know. We got married there. Mike and I did. And then I found this adults only all-inclusive resort. And I think this will be my third or fourth time to go there. And I'm a creature of habit. I'm just like, went there, loved it. It was great. And usually all inclusive, I'm kind of like, how's this going to be? This place is phenomenal. So that's where I'm going. I leave Wednesday, come back Sunday, 4 nights, me and 4 girlfriends. I cannot wait. So anyway, we had one day we can talk more about that later, but let's get to the important stuff. So we had to shoot on Monday, and then you texted last night and we're like, I got to go to the doctor with Anna on Monday. And that, of course, takes the utmost importance because our sweet Anna girl, y'all were in the hospital and you had to spend nights there and it was scary stuff. So fill us in on Anna. I know you posted something about it on social media, but fill us in on Anna, how she's doing. Please.
And I'll detail a little bit like from beginning to end, and it won't take long, but I feel like the details sometimes can help other people, because one thing that I'm finding is like the more people I talk to about this, the more people that are like, oh my gosh, that happened to my daughter or my son. And you know, it's crazy how many people I'm hearing that this happens to, because it seems like a pretty big deal. Bottom line is she was having trouble breathing. And in Thanksgiving, she got a fever. And we were out at the ranch and there was a neighbor there. I started noticing some wheezing with that fever. And since we were far from home and not near a doctor, there was a neighbor there that had a stethoscope because she's a nurse. So she came over and listened to her and she was like, yeah, she's definitely wheezing, you know, let's see how it is tomorrow. And the next day she had gotten better. And the fever was gone and she was just acting like total normal 5-year-old girl running all around. And then we kind of just went on with our lives. And I noticed that the wheezing would kind of come and go. It never fully went away. So Kelly took her to the doctor because I had to go to work, and the only time was in the afternoon. So I made a video for the doctor because I was like, okay. He's like, okay, I'll take her to the doctor. What do you want me to say? And I was like, okay, just show her this video. So I literally like made a video of me like.
But also too though, Julie, think about this. So like, you know, sometimes like, you know, when your computer's acting up and like it acts up for you and then you take it to the Apple store and then you try to reenact it and it's like, everything's fine. Like, what are you talking about? Your computer's great. So it's good that you made a video when it was happening so that you, even though even if she wasn't going through that particular thing at that particular moment, you could show him like, this is what's concerning us.
Well,
right? Not to compare your child to a MacBook, but
the MacBook had to go to the shop. But this video was actually just me, Emily. It was just me talking. Yeah, like because he didn't know what to say. Yeah.
Oh, God bless Kelly.
I like sat here and like it was the 7 a.m. or whatever, and I was like in my jammies, like, okay, hi Dr. Edge, you know, blah 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 blah, and like just telling the whole situation. Yeah, because I had to go to work. So.
Okay, kind of different, but okay. Great mom. You're being a great mom. You're being a great mom.
Yeah,
okay.
I can't be anywhere after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I was like, okay, well, she's got to go. So I made a video that he went and showed to the doctor of me talking. Yeah.
I'm cracking up.
It was
that
just
it was
me
just
talking.
You.
And in retrospect, I should have gotten him to take a video of her because, you know.
Right. Okay. Lessons learned.
It's just I think just men and women in general, and maybe it's not just a man-woman thing, but we're just so different and like communicating in general, communicating to the doctor, having the doctor, you know. So I got like a few words back about what she thought, and I was like, that's all she said, like that. So when this was a while back, like 2 weeks ago. So my report from the doctor was that she thought she probably had walking pneumonia. And there was an antibiotic. She took it for 3 days and it should go away. And so I was like, all right. So she took the medicine for 3 days and then it got better, but not all the way better. Just a little bit of wheezing still. And then on Tuesday night, there was something going around their school. There were like 5 girls, maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe like 2-3 girls that she's friends with that had gone home from school. Kelly was sick with something. Ryder was all congested. I somehow have survived, but
there is so much going around. Yeah.
And it's been that way since like November. Like, I'm like, is this ever going to end?
Yeah.
Anyway, so she picked something up along the way. And with that virus, she started to get cough congestion. And I noticed the wheezing before bed. So I called our pediatrician. Well, first I tried this. I have a new like thing through my new insurance with iHeart where you can just text with the doctor. So I was like, oh, that sounds like so easy. So I was like just trying to text with the doctor. And he was like, yeah, you need to see a person. I was like, all right, well that doesn't do shit. Like, so what does texting with a doctor do if they always just say you need to go see somebody? I guess if you just want some drugs and I don't know. Thanks, iHeart.
Right. Hey, call me a script.
Yeah, exactly.
Bud.
So then I called her pediatrician and talked to the night nurse helpline, which was through Children's Medical Center. And that lady was wonderful. And so she like talked to Anna on the phone to try and hear. She was like asking her to tell her a story or talk to her about school so she could hear how she was talking. And then she had me count her breathing with her on the phone. And at that point, she was very short of breath, and her breaths were like she was about at 40 in a minute. And so what I learned, and this is what I like telling people because I didn't know this, so she had about just under 40 breaths in a minute, and the doctor on the nurse helpline said if it gets worse, like if she gets up to 50 breaths in a minute, that's when she needs to go.
Yeah, because that seems like a lot.
That's when she needs to go to the ER. Like 40 is a lot. And so she was already like, like just pretty short of breath. And so we went to bed. I had her next to me, and she woke up once, seemed okay, went back to sleep, woke up again. It was like 4:00, and I was like, she was like, like couldn't breathe. And I went and got Kelly because he was sleeping upstairs because he was sick. So we were all trying not to get each other sick. And he came down well first. I hate to keep throwing him under the bus, but he had taken some NyQuil. So I go up there, like, hey, I'm so sorry. Come listen. Come listen. Anna's breathing really hard. He came down and he was like, okay, yeah, we need to go, which I feel like he never is. So anyway, I hopped in the car, like it was at this point 5 a.m. and got her and went to Presby, the hospital that's closest to us, not the children's hospital. And they were great. Long story short, it took a while to figure out what was going on. I still am a little bit murky on it all, but Presby did everything they could. They did a chest x-ray, and they were watching her oxygen levels, and her oxygen had dropped down to below 90, and they like it to be like 95 to 100. And so it just wasn't going back up. So they wanted us to go to Children's it was just going to take longer to figure it all out. And so they wanted to take her in an ambulance to Children's just so they could like keep an eye on her oxygen levels or whatever. So that was, actually her second ambulance at age 5. Remember, she had that febrile seizure when she was 2. And so that's just like traumatic for her. Kelly rode with her. I drove my car and followed. And anyways, went to Children's, and then we were there overnight because they're just watching all of her oxygen levels, trying to figure it out. They were pumping her with steroids, antibiotics, to try and get that. There was some sort of the virus, I think probably back in Thanksgiving, had like gotten into her lungs and then gotten worse. So her right lung was not opening all the way because of some sort of, they were calling it a collapse on her lung. Not a collapsed lung, but a collapse on the lung. So something that's causing like a little spot to like collapse. And so, and they all were asking if she had a history of asthma. I was like, no history of asthma. But this whole time, like even since Thanksgiving, I'm like, does this girl have asthma? So basically it got better. She was doing breathing treatments, and they wanted it to get to 4 hours in between breathing treatments before they let us go home to where we could continue the breathing treatments on our own. So that was the next afternoon. So it was like a 4 a.m. Tuesday to about 5 p.m. Wednesday was the whole course of everything. So they let her out, and she has been a lot better. Went back to the pediatrician today for the follow-up, and they said, maybe tap the brakes on like thinking everything's good, because she was still wheezy and she's good, but we had stopped the breathing treatments every 4 hours, and now we're back on it. So she's going to have to do the breathing treatments every 4 hours for the next 2 days, and then every 6 hours after that. And then she got one more type of medicine, and she's still taking her steroid that, by the way, makes her so mean. Have your kids ever had roid rage? Anna has major roid rage with this medicine. So
what
bad.
is she doing?
And it's so embarrassing. Like, my mom came up here to help, you know, and like just being so mean. Just being so mean. Like, she would look at, she'll
is
just
she
like
doing?
look at us, she'd scream at us every time we try to talk. Like, and she'd look at me and she'd be like, go away.
No.
Go away. Like, anytime we tried to talk to her, and she was doing it to my mom. Yeah, it was crazy. So I'm Googling, I'm like, does steroid make the kids mean? It's like, yes. Like, anger, aggression. Yeah. And then I asked my doctor today, she was like, yeah, that's a big part of it. And then this thing she was doing on the breathing treatment makes her very hyper. So she was like, angry, hyper, angry, hyper.
So she's like, crazy. Go away, go away.
So it's been a wild
poor
ride.
thing. Because
She
Anna's a
is.
sweet girl. I mean, she's a lot. She's a brat. Just, I mean, come
Yes.
on. But
She
she's
likes to
a
test
sweet
her
girl.
limits.
Oh, just wait till we get into my kids in a
okay,
minute.
okay.
Just
We
wait till
need
we get
to.
to my kids in a minute.
So anyway, she's still a road to
Bookmark that.
recovery, and I think
poor
from here
thing.
on out, like, it just seems like she'll have probably, at least for now, I've heard that kids grow out of it sometimes, but like a virus-induced asthma kind of thing. So like when she gets a virus, that's going to be the trigger probably to where she'll just have to do the breathing treatments and all that, and we'll keep an eye on it. And so at least now, like, you know, it's manageable. We know that we can do it, and she's good. It's like, yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm so, like, I texted you that, like, we were
Yes,
texting the
thank
whole
you.
time
You were
during
so
this whole
sweet
thing.
checking
And I was
in.
just like, I'm just so glad that you like, because a lot of times we're like, okay, it's a bug,
Yeah.
it's a whatever, you know, you're just like, we're just going to power through this. And so I'm just so glad that you took her in. And then when you texted me that, like, she was at an ambulance, I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, I was in Cooperstown, and I was just like, okay, like, tell me what's going on, like, what, you know, whatever. I mean, my heart just broke because I can only imagine, like, that's a helpless feeling. And so anyway, I'm glad she's okay. And also, too, PSA to moms and dads out there that, like, you know, sometimes it's not just you know, some Robitussin and whatever, Mucinex. I don't even know if kids can take that, but whatever. You know, that you listen to your, you know, you listen to your heart, and Kelly listened to your video and
the video. Yeah. It's funny.
and
Because
Okay.
yeah,
Well, I'm
thank
glad
you.
Anna's
Thank you.
okay.
And yeah, that is a good PSA because I think we do try to fight through it. And then, like, I was talking to another mom the other night, and she's like, yeah, it was my middle child when it happened, and I had a baby, and I just gave him some Benadryl, and that was like the worst thing because then they can't breathe even more, and then blah blah blah, and then a lot of people are dealing with it, and a lot of people just don't know the warning signs. So, you know, I thought that was really great. What that nurse told me is, like, if the breathing ever gets to be that quick and that wheezy, that's when you go to the ER. It was
because 40 breaths a minute is
it's a
would
lot.
seem
Yeah,
like a lot.
She was borderline at that point, and then 50. So it's good to just, like, I guess what I would say, like, that I learned about that, because there's such a gray area all the time with kids who are always sick. It's like, when do I worry? When do I take them to the doctor? I think that's just a good question. If you're worried at all, like, call a nurse and say, what is my signal to go to the ER, you know? And that's, thank God I had that signal.
Give me a sign.
Because if you leave it up to me, I'm like we talked about, like, I'm always like, it'll be fine. But yeah, this was, in the fact that it had been going on since Thanksgiving, I was like, okay. So anyway, it was a wild couple of days, and Children's Medical Center, huge shout out to them. They were awesome. Presby did well too for not even having a kids ER, pediatric ER. Like, they were all really good with her. And then Children's, it was great. And she got, like, a big bag of toys from them. It was so fun. Like, that she was so excited. She didn't want to leave at one point.
Yeah, and I saw the pictures of, like, I know, when Ryder came, and they were, like, hanging out in the bed. And well, I'm glad sweet Anna is okay. And I think it's such a good PSA for, you know, moms and dads out there that are like, I mean, I don't want to overreact. I mean, whatever, you know. but you're not, you just better to be
Exactly.
safe than sorry.
Exactly.
You know, and you
Yeah.
guys were with Anna. So I'm glad she's
Thank you.
back
And thanks
home
for
and
your
doing
support
better.
along the way. You were so
Yeah.
sweet to check in from
Oh,
Cooperstown.
of course, honey. Oh my gosh. I was like, she's going in an ambulance. Like, what is happening?
The ambulance was dramatic.
Yeah. So I'm glad she's okay.
Thank you.
I know. That is dramatic. It's dramatic. Okay.
Anna's
so Anna's
good.
good.
Yeah.
On the up and up. Keep us
I
posted.
will.
Okay, what else do we have to catch up on? Oh,
Yes.
Cooperstown.
Tell me
So,
about
yeah,
it.
I went to
Okay, so
Cooperstown.
first of all,
did.
that was like just an official
Yeah.
announcement kind of thing.
So this is something they've done. This is the first time they've done it this way. So normally what they do is they'll have the inductees come in one at a time. And they'll do it like maybe, a couple weeks after the announcement that they've been voted in. And they'll separate them. For the first, I think this is the first year they've done it this way, where they fly all of the guys who were voted in at the same time immediately after the announcement. And they basically like tour the hall. You get an orientation. They talk about, there's display cases for each one of the inductees and what items you want displayed in there. I mean, there's all kinds of things, planning the parties that are going to take place over Hall of Fame weekend. I mean, there's everything. So I was able to be with, so Hall of Fame announcements came down on Tuesday at like 5:00. We knew Adrian was going to be in because he was tracking that way at such a high percentage. I mean, he finished with 95% of the votes, which is stupid. Not stupid, like stupid good. And so then the next morning on Wednesday, he and Sandra, his wife, flew to Arlington. They did he did a press conference here, and then we all got on a plane to Rome, New York, which is about an hour from Cooperstown. So it was me, Adrian, Sandra, Tyler Bergstrom, who works for Scott Boris, who is Adrian's agent, John Blake, two members of the Rangers, kind of like, they're not social media, Bailey, like photography, like they're capturing all of these moments. And then Evan Grant from the Dallas Morning News. So it was the 8 of us going out there. So we left right after the press conference on Wednesday, get there. Adrian and Sandra have a dinner with like the chairman of the Hall of Fame, like all the big peeps. We sat at the kids' table and went to another place. Had dinner and then got up the next morning, went to the Hall of Fame so it was my first time going to the Hall of Fame. So we get there like at 8:45 in the morning to the Hall of Fame, and it was just really cool. Like Todd Helton and his family were there. Joe Mauer and his family were there. So it was like everyone was there, but kind of went on different schedules to kind of space everyone out. So we like walk through the plaque room, for lack of a better word. It's got to have a name, but like where all the plaques are displayed. And so I got to like follow Adrian as he's going through, and he's been there before, but like
not with that perspective.
it's like, I don't know. No. And like, here's this dude that I've known for, 13 years. And to see him like, and just knowing his personality, like he's so like guarded, doesn't show emotion. He's just always been Adrian. And for the first time, I'm like seeing him like take it all in and enjoy it and relish it. Like we got to the display for Juan Marichal, and Juan Marichal was the first Dominican player to ever be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Adrian, as we're going through all these exhibits and all the stuff that Cooperstown has to offer, I mean, it's so beautifully done. The Hall of Fame is. I can't wait to go. Like, I texted Mike and I was like, I cannot wait for you to come here with me. And then I texted Henry and I was like, I cannot wait for you to come. Like, Mike's going to go with me on Hall of Fame induction weekend, but I want to take Henry on a time where like we can go and just spend time there and it's not super crowded and whatever. Anyway, so we get to the Juan Marichal exhibit and Adrian's like, will somebody take a picture of me in front of this one? And I'm like, okay, this dude who fucking hates pictures, hates interviews, hates everything. Not hates everything. That's not right to say. But he's just not like that. But he wanted that picture in front of the Juan Marichal exhibit because it was like, that meant so much to him. He's only the 5th Dominican-born player to enter into the Hall of Fame. And Juan Marichal was the first. And he wanted to have that picture of him with that exhibit. And so I just was like getting to see stuff like that. And, I sat beside him in the video. We watched a video about Cooperstown and kind of how it came to be. And, I sat beside him on that. And I just thought, God, how stupid lucky am I that, my first time to Cooperstown, my first time to the Hall of Fame, I'm getting to experience it, walking behind him the whole way and just watching. So it was really, really cool.
That's gotta be up there. Right?
I had a great time. And
your career moments.
I mean, yeah. It's hard to think of.
You have a World Series now.
Obviously the World Series was, I know.
What a year.
And that's why, what a year, and then we've got the All-Star game coming. I'm like, I'm just so, I don't know. Sometimes when you look at and I'm like, God, I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful that, that Adrian and Sandra allowed me to come and the Rangers allowed, it's not like it's, I don't know. I just feel lucky, stupid lucky, that I've just kind of wandered my way into this, this career. And, it was super, super special. And I'm excited to go back in July when he gets inducted. And then I might even be more excited to take my kids. Cause everyone who we talked to, cause I thought about taking my kids to the induction, and everyone I talked to there was like, don't do it. It's a madhouse. Don't bring your kids. Because bring them in a time when and the Hall of Fame people are great. They're like, come back anytime. We'll take you and your family on a great tour. But Hall of Fame weekend is going to be nuts. And, and y'all are going to be going to parties or whatever. They were like, it's just not worth it. And so I think we made the right decision in that. I mean, Mike will go with me, but, I want to take Henry and Hattie back at a time when we can really dive in. Cause our tour was an hour and a half. And I don't feel like I even saw, a fourth of what I wanted to see. Cause there's so much to see. So anyway, it was really, really cool.
That's awesome.
I was, thrilled to be there. And I know, and it's kind of crazy, to think that 5 years ago is when he retired, I don't know. And 13 years ago is when he signed here. And 20 years ago is when I started covering this team. The years just keep on adding up.
It's crazy how that works.
Anyway, it was great. So it is crazy how that works. Yeah.
What a cool
So we had
experience.
that, and then I had the Rangers awards dinner and then Fan Fest, which we can talk about a little bit later too. So
you're on the Rangers circuit.
It was a whirlwind week for us. It's heavy on the range. And tomorrow I go to Lubbock with Josh Young to do the first pitch luncheon, which I've done for years and years. They have a kickoff luncheon for baseball season.
Do you go PJ with Josh
and
Young?
So usually I do not go PJ.
Okay.
I go commercial. I know. And I fly out of Love and into DFW. Okay. So I've just booked an Uber for 6:30 in the morning to get there on time. Yeah.
Well, tell Josh hi.
Josh is already there.
Hi from the mom game.
I will. Yeah. Josh is already there. He drove back. He just texted me and said, because I was like, are we on the same flight? And he said, I drove back on Sunday. So he went back yesterday. So I'll meet him there and we'll do the first pitch luncheon in Lubbock. And then I leave for Mexico on Wednesday. So,
well, that's awesome, Em.
I know. I'm so excited.
That's a lot. Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah.
What is Beltray like on a PJ? Did y'all chit chat? Did he go shoes off? Does he lean back?
No shoes off. No shoes off. Sandra was a little under the weather, his wife. She actually had no voice. So Adrian thought he was really cute and funny and translating for her because she was talking really quietly. But I did bring a bottle of champagne or a bottle of bubbles And I was like, who wants bubbles? And Sandra was like, I just,
Oh,
you
no,
know, I'm
you
not
got
feeling
denied.
great, whatever. So she didn't partake. No, but
good.
Adrian partook, and then so did Tyler, his agent. And so we all split that. But yeah, no, it was just the four of us sitting around like with a table in the middle,
dominoes.
and we told funny stories, and we didn't play dominoes, but we just kind of shot the shit.
That is so cool.
And then on the way, it was. I mean, it really is. Yeah, it was great. It was great. The whole thing was great.
Well, that's awesome. You're
okay.
in the inner circle. You're
Okay,
in the
so I need to tell you
contingent.
about.
I was making fun of the
am
word
I?
contingent the other day.
Okay, so
You're in the contingent.
where are
Yeah,
you?
you know, like if a team's like courting a coach, or they're trying to do interviews with, or they're trying to bring someone in as a free agent or something, they're like, the contingent is on the way to Philadelphia. You know, it's funny. So you got to be in the contingent for Adrian Beltre. That's what that was.
Okay.
You're a contingent.
Well,
girl.
thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, so I want to talk about a really awkward moment I had with Troy Aikman. I didn't tell you about this on purpose because I wanted to say it for the show. But first, I want you to tell us about Early Bird, and I'll chime in because they've been saving my life. Wait, right fast before you start giving the specifics about Early Bird. So we've identified when I get anxious. And it's anticipating things, right? So, I mean, I'm anticipating this trip that I'm taking to Mexico. I'm going to be gone for 4 nights, 5 days. And at first I was like, you know what? I'm not making a calendar. Mike's a big boy. He can figure this out. Like, they got this. And then I was like, the fuck am I thinking? Like, of course he needs a calendar. Of course he needs instructions. Like, the man doesn't know his fucking Apple ID. He needs help. So I made a calendar. I'm feeling better. But I will say, in these next couple of nights and in the last couple of nights, I've been thinking, what all do I need to get done? And knowing I'm going to Lubbock on Tuesday and then leaving Wednesday, I'm like, I've got to get everything done. So it's been hard to shut my mind down. And so the thing I do to shut my mind down is to pop my favorite thing, my early birds. And before you get, because I do, you have specifics to tell everybody about, our promo code. But I had 2 people reach out this week. I sent one of them samples. She might be a friend of ours. She might have been not a former, but a sorority sister of yours. She was like, so do those really work? And I was like, they sure do. And I'm happy to send you a sample 4-pack. And so I sent those in the mail to her today. And then I have another friend of mine who's a realtor in town, who's a good friend of my sister-in-law's. And he was like, dude, seriously, are these working? And I'm like, I promise. And I'm like, next time you come to our house, I've got a thing for you. And I was like, or I'll give them to Kelly.
You're an official dealer.
People are, I
love it.
Okay,
Word
so tell
is
everyone
getting
about
out.
that, and then I'm going to tell you about my awkward moment with Troy.
We're getting out about the early bird because they're amazing. Emily referenced our promo code, and it is the Mom Game in all caps. And there's also a link in our link tree. If you go to our Instagram or our Twitter, you can go to our link tree and scroll down until you see the early bird button and click on that, and that'll take you automatically to the page that gets you that 20% discount. Or you can just go to earlybirdcbd.com and use the code at checkout. These early bird gummies are amazing. Emily was telling you about some of her friends and people in her life that are asking about it. I've actually had the same thing. And now we have a group of 2nd grade moms at the school that are all very into the early birds. And it just helps you kind of relax, take the edge off after a long day. And a lot of people I know are doing dry January and have found that this early bird gummy will kind of get you that same sensation where you're just able to relax. It does have a microdose of THC from hemp, 2.5 milligrams of THC, and 12.5 milligrams of CBD to be specific. It's just the feature of the gummies. So just know it does have a little tiny bit of THC in it. It's completely legal, but you're going to want that tiny bit of THC because that's kind of what helps you chill out. And they also just released a new and improved flavor and texture of the gummies. So When you order it, you'll get to try it, and they are good. They were good before. Now they're like really, really tasty. And I just think that this concoction that they have come up with is perfect. The formulation inside has stayed the same, so you'll enjoy all of the same effects, but the flavors now are more delectable, and the texture is just like a little bit more velvety. So once again, earlybirdcbd.com, use our code TheMomGame in all caps at checkout, or you can go to our link tree and automatically link to that page that will get you the discount.
Yeah, and we're going to do a promotion thing with them where they're doing yes, they're awesome. I'll be popping a couple of those as soon as we get off here. But
some too.
they're going to do a promotion where they, you could do like me and the wine where you just drink out of the bottle. To where they're going to do a promotion with us here in the coming weeks, months. We'll keep you posted where you enter a code, you get like a free 4-pack sent to you if you want to try it before buying like a full bottle. So we'll keep you posted on that. But yeah, we love the early birds. Okay, so back to my awkward moment with Troy Aikman. So my niece Jordan and her friends came in for the weekend, this past weekend. And so they wanted to go to a Stars game. And so my sister bought my niece's boyfriend Stars tickets for Christmas. So they'd been planning this weekend forever. January 16th through the 18th, can we come stay with you? I'm like, of course. And so they took the train over to the AAC. They went and watched Stars. I think
the train goes right there.
Yeah, Stars Caps.
Yeah, Saturday was the Caps.
Yeah, it was the 1:00 game, afternoon game. Yes. And so they got to see Ovechkin, they got to see the Stars, they got to see the Stars win. And so I was like, I'll take out a dinner on Saturday. Where do y'all want to go? And she was like, Joe T's. And I was like, okay, of course. So we go to Joe T's for dinner, and random Cole Hamels was there. And so a friend of mine was like, oh, Cole's over here, come say hi. And so I go say hi to Cole Hamels, and former Rangers pitcher. And so I go say hi to Cole, and then I run into another friend and talking to her, and she's at a table with Troy Aikman. She was like, oh, did you see Troy? And I was like, oh, I didn't. I was like, oh, down at the end of the table. So I venture down to the end of the table to say hello to Troy, and I tap him, and I'm like, hey, Troy. And he looks at me like this.
Oh, no.
Hey. And I was like,
oh, no.
Oh God! Oh God!
You didn't recognize
Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! He doesn't know me. He doesn't know me, and he thinks I'm just interrupting his dinner.
Emily.
Oh my God! This is so awkward. And I was like hyperventilating. I was by myself, and I was just like, "Hey, Emily, Emily Jones. I'm Emily Jones from the Rangers." And he sat there for like a second too long, and I was just like, and then he was like, "Oh!" And then he got up out of his chair, hugged me, and I was like, I don't know if he's just being nice or if he actually recognizes me, but he actually, he engaged me in conversation. But I will tell you, those 5 seconds, from which I tapped him on the shoulder and said hey, Troy, and he looked at me, because I've looked at people like that are like, hey, you should know me, and I don't know them, and I feel like shit, but I'm still like, what the fuck are you doing talking to me? And he looked at me, and I was like, I was having this hyperventilating moment.
You needed an early bird.
Okay. And then I was like, but I had to make a decision. Do I just walk away and be like, I think you're a great quarterback in the day.
Big fan.
What do I do here? Do I just, big fan? Remember me and Julie when we went to Mi Casina and we tasted your 8 beer? That was so fun. I didn't know what to do. I was
he with a big group?
Okay, so he was with a group, and there was a woman next to him that was looking at me, and
his girlfriend now is my age.
Well, no, it was. This wasn't her, and she was great, but I've seen his girlfriend, and she's that wasn't her.
Okay,
is all I'm saying. That wasn't her. But the level of panic that set in me, I was just because I don't ever like to say hey, you know me from the Rangers. I think that's so brutal. think that's so lame. But I felt like I was in fight or flight mode. Like, I got to figure something out. Like, I've got to redeem myself on this.
Liquid courage, like, going in?
No, okay. Not enough. Not enough. No, I had no intention. I went to go say hi to Cole.
What? Look at all these.
And then I saw my friend Jenya.
Who?
And then Jenya was like, "Oh, did you see Troy?" So she's just assuming that me and Troy are like buds. And so I was like, "Oh, of course I'll go say hello to him." And then I like tap him, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" And then Julie, the look on his face will be forever burned in my mind. It was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Leave me alone. I just want my margarita and chips.
I panicked. I panicked. I totally panicked. And he's sitting with his back to the. He's sitting so strategically with his back toward the wall, so no one can see him. I mean, it's a total pro move. Like he's doing all the right things. Like, leave me the fuck alone. And then here I am just busting up his dinner at Joe T's before he goes to see Pat Green. So thankfully he was going to see Pat. So I was able to use that as a little bit of a buffer. So once he looked at me like I had, like I was deformed, I was just like, so yeah, Emily Jones from the Rangers. And he was like, oh, great season. Like, you got up and hugged me. Like, it was fine after that. But then I was like, I felt like I needed to overcompensate. Yeah. And I was like, oh, here you're going to Billy Bob's to see Pat Green. Okay. I went to college with he and Corey. Like, I've known them for quite some time. Just saw Pat last night, as a matter of fact, at the Rangers Awards dinner.
Well, look at you.
Let me think, Nate Newton and I are really tight. Like I don't know.
Did you just drop everything you possibly could think of?
Everything. I was like, Jesse Hawley? He's awesome. Mr. Fourth and Long. I just was like, oh my God. Yeah, it was one of the most.
Were you sweating so bad?
I don't know, maybe. Oh, honey, like
my God,
pit sweat was just
okay. But like,
I just was like,
that's good that you went to say hi. Like, I never do that kind of thing. And I think that it would behoove me to do that kind of thing more. But I just don't. But
you could also have a giant panic attack. Like I had, like I was just like, oh my God, I just made an ass of myself
like
in front of all these people. Like, it's a big table. And my friend Jenya was like, oh, it's Troy's down there. Like, assuming we would know each other because it's, Troy, because of course, Troy Aikman, Hall of Fame quarterback, and the Rangers reporter would be best friends. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'll go say hi to him. Oh yeah, oh hey Troy. And he was just, I can't even tell you, like the image of his face is burned in my mind forever. And I'm just like, and I actually, I think I had makeup on. Like, I don't even think I was
he probably just gets approached so much, and
true. No, so true. And I will say, he was super great after, he made the connection or pretended to make the connection. But either way, Troy, I'm sure he's an avid watcher of the Mom Game. Thank you for pretending like you knew who I was,
Troy,
and saving me from
oh my God,
even
that's
more
amazing,
embarrassment than.
I wish I could have seen it. I never do that.
Oh God, it's so awkward.
I just err on the side of not, but. The one time I did do it recently, remember how we had our happy hour with the mayor of Arlington and a while back, and then after the Cotton Bowl, I think I told you I went into his bar and I told my friends, I was like, my friends who were in town, I was like, oh yeah,
the speakeasy,
you're big the mayor owns this bar, he told me we had a happy hour,
me and Jim Ross
or whatever, and I walked in and he's right there, right when we walked in, he was leaving, so I was faced with the situation where I had acted like I knew somebody, and then they were right there, right? So it was no, I did.
And you didn't say anything?
And I did, and it was the same deal where he's kind of staring at me, and everyone's had drinks, right? So he was kind of looking at me, and I was like, Julie Dobbs, from the happy hour with, Mark Catfee, and we were at the bar, and I was with Emily, and he was like, oh yeah. And then it clicked, but I felt like I had to because I just told these people I knew, I know the owner, and then the owner was right there, and I was like, oh, shit. Now I got to actually stop and talk to the owner. But I don't do that very much, but
That's so stressful.
I think I should. I think people who go places in life are the people that face their fears and talk to somebody in that situation instead of not.
Well, and two, you have to realize like how many times have you seen someone like out of a setting? Like, I think if like, you know, Troy Aikman would have seen me at a Rangers game on the field, he would have, maybe would have clicked.
Yeah, that's where you're in your element.
But, right. But I think of people that I see and they're like, oh, it doesn't click because I'm not seeing them in like a like the usual place I'm seeing them. I don't know. I'm just trying to make myself feel better about this whole Troy Aikman. And it doesn't help that I like had a giant crush on him when I was like 12. Like it's F's with my mind. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, at least it clicked in, Emily. At least it clicked in. I thought you were going to say it never clicked for him.
Or no, it clicked. Or he pretended like it clicked, which I've pretended before.
I have too.
We've all pretended.
He has to know the Rangers.
We've all faked things.
I mean, come on. He watches baseball.
I don't know. But he did say it was like great season. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to pretend like it was genuine. But anyway, it was hilarious. But I wanted to share that with you because I thought it was so funny that I was
so panicked.
So completely embarrassed.
With your college girl group.
Yes, with my, oh my gosh, my niece, who they're in college. I mean, like, they're so hilarious. Like, they're so fun. And I'm like,
we're old.
I'm so old. And
it feels like that wasn't that long ago until you
fun.
See people who are actually in college and you're like, ah,
it does. I
this
know.
is crazy. I'm old AF.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun.
I know. Okay. Couple more things. Sportsy wise, I feel like we should talk about the Super Bowl. And I feel like we need to talk about Taylor.
I know.
Dude. Okay. So Ashley posted that clip of you talk. Have we ever had more engagement on a post ever?
Yes, because there was.
People are triggered by Taylor Swift.
There was, I think, more on your Adrian Beltre letter, by the way. But we do have an engagement, and I knew that we would. Like, I just got. I'm getting them right now. Agreed, but can we stop using names like Chad is that guy? My brother Chad is blah, blah, blah. Like,
okay, what? Wait, did you call everyone Chad?
She did.
And Brad?
So she said that.
Oh.
She said that.
Wait, Taylor or Ashley?
Taylor said it. And then I gave Ashley
I was like, wait, Ashley.
Caption using that. Okay. Taylor in her Time magazine Person of the Year interview, when they asked like what is it with this relationship that like makes you feel comfortable being more public with your relationship? And she said, well, I'm not really being more public than I was before. I'm just going to watch him play. Like, I'm not trying to be public because I want to be. I'm just going to support him doing what he does. He's supporting me doing what I do, and that's why he went to the concert in Argentina or whatever. And she said, I know there's some dads, Brads, and Chads that are upset by me being at the NFL games and on TV sometimes. But so she used it. So that's the term from Taylor about men who just can't handle Taylor Swift being at NFL football games. Dads, Brads, and Chads. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. I obviously love dads. My brother is actually named Chad. And I love him. And I know a lot of wonderful Brads.
I've got good friends.
My boyfriend for 5 years in college and high school was Brad, and he's a great guy. There's nothing against Brad and Chad and dads.
It's like Karen's. You can't help if your name was Karen.
I know.
And Karen came about.
But Taylor.
Yeah. So dads,
Taylor
Brads,
definitely said that. And so we used that on the caption. But yeah, that clip, people are very triggered by her, which is ridiculous.
They're so triggered. Okay. And another thing is like, they're like, people are like, this is a full blown conspiracy. Like this is totally manufactured.
Are people still saying that? They're like very much in love.
Oh.
Did you see them?
This is triggering Julie.
Did you see them at the trophy ceremony?
I did, so and I think they're adorable. They are so cute. But there's a whole like I've on my I feel so old on my Facebook feed. There's so many people that are like, I'm just going to put it out there. This is a total fabrication, whatever. And I'm like, man, I don't know. And I guess I'm just not a conspiracy theorist, like in general. So I'm like, really, that's a lot of work for this, you know?
And, yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't get it, but I'm like, you do you. I don't, if that's what you think. But it's like, this is the problem with our, like, if I could get on my soapbox for a moment, like, this is the problem with our society. Like, we want it, like, someone blows up, right? They get big and huge. People get bitter and resentful toward them. And then they can't wait for them to make one misstep or two or how many ever, so they can fucking just obliterate them. And it's just such an unhealthy cycle. Like, what's wrong with Taylor and Jason Kelce? Like, I don't know. Or Travis.
I don't think she'd ever date
Jason. No, it's true. And then, like, same thing. Okay, I knew there was a Jason Kelce tie in here. So, prime example, we have a birthday dinner for Mike last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever. So we have family over, and my father-in-law was like, well, you know that Jason Kelce's wife, Kylie, does not like Taylor Swift.
Your father-in-law.
Like, really? He's like 70. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, she said, and I quote, she's not my cup of tea. And I was like, I said, I read an article or saw something that said that, like, the spotlight, like, she doesn't like the spotlight. And so all the attention that comes with Taylor Swift is not her cup of tea. I was like, but I think she likes, let's just be real. Like, there's not a whole lot to not like about Taylor Swift. Maybe I'm just being like,
no,
blinders
not at all.
On,
She's a
go
very good
women,
person.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I'm having a hard time finding, like, shit to not like about her. And so I was like, I don't think that's right. He was like, nope. I read it. Not my cup of tea. And I was like, okay.
He's so in the know.
Like, again,
yeah.
He's 70. And I was like, I don't think that's right. Like, I think he was talking about, like, the attention. She's kind of private, but also she married an NFL player, like, and into the Kelce family, like, and Donna's on the Today Show, and the dad.
They just did like a People magazine podcast with her family.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They're not being, like, super remote or reclusive.
But
like,
it's
whatever.
A new level of spotlight.
So then, like, 30 minutes later, he comes up and he's like, you know what? And kudos to him. He was like, you're right. It said she doesn't like the attention is not her cup of tea. And I was like, so this is the problem, is that everyone, it's just like everything in our society. Like, you just find the thing that feeds what you think, and you don't like Travis and Taylor. And so you grab whatever and try to throw fuel on the fire, whatever. But it's like, and the more attention they get, the more famous they get, the more attention they get, the more scrutiny they get, and the more that people want to, they're just waiting. And that's what makes me sad for them, is because people are just chomping at the bit for something to go wrong. Can you imagine can you imagine you and Kelly in a relationship to where people are just waiting for you at Outback tonight at dinner or wherever for you to make one move or look at Kelly with a side eye and say y'all are no longer in love, and
create some, like, excitement in our lives. Like, who did you see this one? But
it would be exhausting.
Well, and did you see yesterday?
Exhausting.
Like, she's over it.
Like, for them.
Like, everyone talking about how much she's on TV, and she's like, I'm not trying to be. I just am going to watch my boyfriend, who she's, like, very much in love with. So did you see after the game, or some of the clips that came out today?
I did.
They had mics on. Like
Yeah.
it sounds like either he, I think definitely had a mic on and you could hear her in his mic. I don't know if they're doing like an NFL, you know, whatever they call it. Yeah. NFL films thing and they're mic'd up. But you could hear what they were saying to each other, and it was like all over Instagram. Like he was saying, like, "Love you, babe," and she was like, "Love you," and he was like, he said, "I love you so much, it's not even funny," and she said, "I've never been prouder of anybody in my life." Like they're so obsessed with each other, and it is so cute, and it's a lot. But yeah, it's just like she's just.
But that's what people are going to say is they're going to say, oh, well, they had mics on. So they were saying all those things. So it could be captured and distributed.
She's like dealt with it forever because she was famous at age 17 or 15 or 16 or whatever. Yeah. And she's 34 now. So she's used to it. But yeah, it's insane. The people are just crazy. And I just hope it doesn't she doesn't let
like
it get
to think
to
the whole thing is fabricated.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like they just made up this relationship?
No, it's stupid. Of course they didn't. That takes a lot of work. She's already like on Time Magazine as the most influential person of the year. Why does she care about more publicity? Why would she fake that?
She doesn't.
No, they're really.
In the NFL, the most powerful brand in all of sports, like the NFL needs some extra pub.
Neither of them need
like,
that.
Give me a fucking break.
Stupid.
No,
it's stupid. But yeah, it's fun because now she's, gonna be going to the Super Bowl and. She's playing in Tokyo the night before, and so everyone's done the math to discover that she actually can be there on the Super Bowl.
Oh, I heard you breaking that down on the radio today.
Hair? Sometimes I think I'm talking to you, and I'm sitting there, and it's like Jeff and Mike, and they're like staring at me like, oh, I needed a Snickers bar. Like, want to get away? It's like I started talking about Taylor, and I got too excited, and I was like, I could tell she's had a really rough week because of all the AI stuff and. You know, like girls just kind of know. I just know her vibe, and I could tell that her hair was wavy. She was just feeling a little bit off, and they were like, "What?" I was like, "Oh God, I need to stop. I need to run out of this studio. What am I doing?" There's a microphone in front of me with all of Dallas.
But can you imagine though if like someone created an AI image of you like doing the dirty with like some random fans and a,
Oh gosh, bad timing.
Hi, Bubba. Oh, it's Henry. I am. You want to say hi to Miss Julie? Oh.
Is it Henry?
Here's Henry. Oh, it's just got an arm.
Hi, Henry. Hi, Henry's arm.
Julie says hi. You going to bed? Okay, good night. I love you. Yeah, I love you too. I'll see you in the morning. I'm getting up early because I got to go to Lubbock. 6:30 is when I'm leaving. Okay.
Oh, he's so sweet. I love that you were talking about an AI version of me doing the dirty when he walked in.
I know. God bless. And I had Henry, like he had people over. He had a sleepover, and I was like, we were trying to get our YouTube numbers up, and I was like, everyone subscribe to the Mom Game. Like they're all on their phones. I'm like, you're on YouTube already. Just subscribe to the Mom Game. And then I'm thinking, I'm like, but don't ever watch.
Just subscribe and then leave it be.
Because I cuss a lot.
Yeah,
and it's not good.
By the way, anybody listening,
I know, but can you imagine like if
almost 1,000?
Please subscribe. I know. What we've got to get to 1,000, and our Instagram is almost at 3,000, 5,000. I don't know.
I think we're closer to 5.
Right there.
I don't know.
Let's get some social support, please.
Support us in this endeavor.
Yeah, but can you imagine though, like if you're, granted, yes, she's been famous for 17 years, half of her life. But can you imagine like somebody just putting out there like AI images of you?
And I didn't see them, but actually I saw one that might have been, I don't know, it was like a picture that was in a story. And I think it was it. I saw it on accident. I felt bad that I even saw it. But it was like she was in like a Chiefs locker room with like all of the players. And then like they think there were some fans.
Yeah, that's terrible. Well, okay, so we like not to sidetrack too much, but so we've talked about this the last couple of weeks. So before the holidays, you and I and Ashley our producer, go to dinner after a show or go to lunch. And then I'm leaving the restaurant in downtown Dallas, and I get a call from an unknown number, answer it, and the dude on the other end says like terribly graphic things to me. Immediately hang up, don't think anything about it. I think I told you and Ashley immediately. And then 2 weeks ago, we leave the studio, and my phone rings, and I answer it. And same thing, calls me by name and then says like, I've been thinking about you. And I was like, ooh, was all I said, like natural reaction, hang up. And then I got another one, but I didn't answer it.
So
yeah, I didn't tell you about that one. I got another one and I didn't answer it. And so I just declined. So because my OCD natural instinct is to answer every
was it just
call,
unavailable?
But
or
now I'm like, it says no caller ID.
And that's the only time it says that.
So it says no caller ID. Yeah, like sometimes it could say, like the only time it's happened with that thing happening is when it says no caller ID. If it says unknown, it's different, whatever. It's just no caller ID. So it's happened 3 times now. 2 times I've answered. The 3rd time happened in Cooperstown on our way to the airport. And I was like, I'm not answering. But I was talking to some people and trying to like figure out if I could record a conversation, and I can't figure out how to record on my phone before I answer to like, and that's why I tell you and Ashley, I'm like, I need to tell you this. So like, I don't, not if something happens, but like, I want to make record, like how many times has this happened? And I mean, can you imagine if you're
that
Taylor
guy was just
Swift?
Arrested.
And people are coming
Every
at you
angle.
from every angle. Like, yes, and hacking into shit and doing whatever. Like, I'm freaked out enough by some dude calling me.
Yeah, because that's really creepy, Emily.
You know, it's so creepy. Like, it just makes you feel so unnerved.
Have you told,
have
you reported it?
Well, no. I mean, I've reported, like, Rangers have a lot of things in place because there's a lot of shit that goes down with, the guys and their families. And so it's been noted. But then, and I just try to, I tell Mike, I tell you guys, like, just to make sure I have like reference of how many times it's happened and
that's very
whatever.
creepy.
But I mean, I think it's probably harmless, but it's just unnerving.
Well,
like,
and
it's
even
like,
if it doesn't go any further,
to hear someone say that on, like, you answer the phone and somebody's like the most vulgar thing you can think of, and they're
that
saying
means they
it
blocked their
to
number.
you.
Yeah, that's effed up.
Right.
I hope that it stops. Yeah. There's got to be a way to track them or whatever. But yeah,
surely it will.
But yeah.
Okay. So anyway, but think about being Taylor Swift. Like,
Yeah.
Everything's relative.
I challenge you when you're traveling, listen to some of her old music. Like, because I didn't think I loved her until I really got into her, just re-listening to her albums. Yeah.
Oh, Taylor?
Like, there's so much more than just like the Shake It Off and stuff like that, which you might know, and you might know some of them, but like
okay, I want you to send me some
Folklore album. It's so good. Yeah, and that's like, once you start listening to it and you start listening to the lyrics, like, that's why I started to really fall in love with her, because I saw the Eras Tour concert, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go listen to some of this old stuff because I'm a new Swiftie, and I'm like, oh my god, I love it. You get into a point where you like don't want to listen to any other music besides Taylor, and she's got so many albums, so it's great. So I challenge you. You have some traveling time. I want to see what you think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, folklore for sure. Okay, one more thing before we go. So I made a note. Did you see my last note on the rundown?
Oh, your kids?
Enjoy your kids' sports while you can, Julie.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. So I see your cute little, you have so many like, cute little videos of, your kids playing basketball, and it's so cute. Yeah. Enjoy that.
Okay.
Enjoy that. Well, so you may be a lucky
Probably
one.
not.
You may not have highly competitive kids. So I am blessed with 2 highly competitive children. And let me tell you something, like Mike and I, like I'm competitive inside. Maybe they see it. Maybe it's rubbed off on them and I don't know about it. But I feel like I'm never like, we got to score 20 points tonight. Like, let's go. We got to fucking win. Like, I'm not that way. Neither is Mike. But our children are just off the charts competitive. And about this time in Henry's life, 10 years old, we had a very similar conversation that I just had with Hattie this weekend. She got fouled, or no, she fouled someone.
Basketball?
On Saturday. And this is what she did. Basketball. So she gets called for a foul, and this is what she did. And I was like, oh my God, I have never been more embarrassed in my life than you. Yes. Like you were over the back, girl. You fouled her. Stop acting like you didn't foul her. I mean, it took everything I had not to go on the court and grab this child and take her out of game on and be like, you are fucking done.
Oh,
she found out. Oh, she's over the back. And then she got hurt, and then she's just a fucking giant bee. And I'm just like, I cannot. And we had the same conversation. We get in the car, Julie, and I was like, what you just did was embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. Your dad's embarrassed. Like you're 10 and you're trying to fucking upstage a referee. I don't care if you didn't touch a girl. You raise your hand, you accept the foul, and you take your fucking medicine. Like this is not okay. I mean, I went crazy because I'm like, there's a lot of things you can't control. You can control how your teammates play. You can't control if the ball goes in the basket. I mean, like Josh Howard says, we don't know what the ball gonna do, whatever. But you cannot act like that. Period. End of story. And so this is what I'm telling you. As a mom of younger kids, enjoy this sweet sports time and hope that your kids don't become competitive because it's a fucking bitch. So they're all cute and running around and Anna's doing this. No. Yes. Because her attitude. Yeah. She's done. She's yes. Like and I love that they're competitive. And at some point, this competitiveness is going to pay dividends for both of my children. And Henry's kind of started to grow out of it. But it's just like, and I was telling like the parents on the other team, because we're all friends, and I was like, a couple moms, and I was like, it's not like Mike and I are like, we win at all costs. Like, let's go get them. Like, whatever it takes. Like, we're not. We're like, I mean, my 3 things I say before every game, play hard, have fun, be a good teammate. Like, that's all we're looking for. But these kids are like fucking savage. Just like,
oh my gosh.
What is happening? And and let me tell you something, sitting on the bench, like with your, friends, like 5 feet away that we all go to school together. It's just like, oh my God. And she, and I'm just like, oh my God.
One thing oh my God. Yeah.
And so you go from it being like super cute, where like Ryder and Anna are like, that's so cute. And then it's like, they're fucking crazy.
Ryder's close to that. Yeah. He's not far from that. Yeah.
Is he? Saddle.
Oh my gosh. Up. Well, he is the type of person to blame the refs for everything. And like, even when he's watching NFL games, and if it affects his fantasy guy or if it affects the team, he's like, that call, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whoa, this is a sign. If like you can watch a football game and your immediate reaction is to get mad at the refs, like we're doing something wrong here. Like this poor refs. But, oh, that's funny. Yeah. I don't know though.
But I'm telling you, like it's like I honestly feel like, and I mean, it obvious. Mike and I are both competitive people, but I don't feel like we are like, neither one of us are like pushing like, you've got to be the best. We're going to get the most points. We're both like much more level-headed in our like kids' sports lives than we are anywhere else probably in our world. And so when I see this, I'm like, and I thought Hattie like was going to be like the chill one. No, not even close. She's fucking losing her mind.
Yeah, I wonder where that comes from. Like, does she want to win that bad, or is it more?
I don't know.
Yeah,
she does. They're competitive, and I mean, I wish I could figure it out. Like, I feel like it's a really good case study. Like, I mean, I thought about like, you know, Ian Kinsler is a friend, and you know, Ian we talked about this a million times, or he and I have like, yes, and he was
he got kicked out of the soccer
I mean, he was
game.
a giant. Yeah. He did. We talked about that story, but we talked about like, because he was that way his entire life, like, because he felt like he wasn't like he had something to prove all the time, and I get it. But it's like trying to like, because I told Hattie on the way home, we got in the car and I just went off. And I was like, that was embarrassing. And I was like, if that happens again, I will pull your ass off the court and you will never get back on it again. Like, that is not okay. Like, you are talking, you cannot, you're 10, by the way, 10. So you don't do... like oh my God, I got a foul called on me. Like, you fucking raise your hand and that's the end of the story. And like, we got invited to go to like, and we're going to hamburgers after the game. And I'm like, Hattie's not, because she's in fucking trouble. Like, we're not, that's not okay. And I know that, so here's the deal. And so this is what I was telling you, like, enjoy these moments with Ryder and Anna. Because you're not at that stage yet. But it might be coming. It might not. Because like, I had parents come up to me afterward and I was like, Hattie's a B and we're going to deal with it. And they were like, oh my gosh, could you channel some of that, you know, aggressiveness and intensity to my daughter? And I'm like, so I was like, yeah, maybe, but there's got to be some kind of happy medium. Like, you don't have to be super passive, but you can't be so fucking aggressive.
And that'll probably like,
you know,
get better.
But then I'm like, look at her mom.
Mom's aggressive.
Me? I mean, slightly aggressive, but
she'll learn. She'll learn. It's funny though, because
just a little aggressive. But I mean,
we've got 5-year-old basketball going, and you can just see the ones at age 5/6, like, who are locked in. You know, and Anna's not at all one of them. Like, not at all. Like, she's very into defense, but that's about it. She's not locked in. And I remember even when she's on offense, she's on defense. And she's trying really hard to keep up. But like, even I remember with Ryder too, it's like the ones which your kids sound like they are, like, they start showing at like age 5-6, like, locked in, and they turn into, they're really good athletes, you know. And sometimes the other ones catch up because their bodies catch up to their, you know, mind or whatever. But I think that's cool. She'll figure it out. Like, I'm kind of on the page of the other moms that are like, man, I wish we had a little bit of that, you know, because we try to, Kelly will like try it, like, right, like, don't you want to shoot hoops? Like, let's go out and throw football. And he has more in this last year than he ever had before, but he'd always just be like, no, I'm good. Like, Anna's like, no, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want your pep up talk. I'm good. What's for lunch? You know, and we're like, no, sports, yeah. Get fired up. Yeah. We're sports people. So it sounds like ours are a little bit on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Well, and I think that's probably like a lot of like parenting, like reading your kids' cues, you know? But I will say, like, I mean, in my defense, I'm like, because sometimes I'm like, what? These people must think that we're like, you know, out on the back, whatever. I mean, and, you know, I kind of care, but I kind of don't. I'm just like, but I tell my kids all the time, like, I tell them 3 things before every game, every practice: play hard, have fun, be a good teammate. Like, you do all those things, everything else is going to fall into place. But like, my kids are just like, bullshit, I want to fucking win, and I want to,
like, there's no cash prize, everybody. We're all cool here.
I know. So And I will say, like, I told Hattie, I was like, I had the same conversation with your brother about the same time 3 years ago or 2 years ago when he was your age. And I was like, and I told him, like, we will not play, like, we won't play sports. Like, we're not going to play sports if you're going to act like a jackass. Like, it's just not going to happen. And so if you like playing sports, like, you're going to have to learn how to carry yourself. And, you know, those are all good life lessons and all that kind of stuff. But
what this age is for,
like,
it's like just
so
figuring it all out.
When I was
figuring
just
it all out.
Oh my God.
And one of the biggest things about parenting is, like, you always think that yours is the worst and your kid's the only one that's bad, or your kid's the only one that's doing this and I'm so embarrassed. It's like, no, everyone's feeling that way for one reason or another, you know? Like, and that's why I love this show. That's why I love, like, talking to people who don't put on a front and act like everything's cool. It's like I find my people. It's like, yeah, like we were at this little thing last weekend and, like, one of the moms was like, my God, you know, about her 8-year-old boy, like, he's just such an asshole right now. And then the other mom's like, mine's such an asshole right now. It's like, well, mine's an asshole right now. It's like, and it felt like freeing to just all agree, like, this is a hard age. And they are, like, you know, so I don't think any of us need to be embarrassed about anything because everyone's dealing with it one way or another with their kids. But that's funny. Yeah. I'm sure y'all did a good
I've
job.
Said many times, like, all kids are assholes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see. But like I've said before, like, all kids are assholes. Like, and if you don't think your kid's an asshole, like, you're just living with your head in the sand. Like, your kid's an asshole. Like, unless you're, like, part of the 1% that's not. But if you're, like, denying that your kid's not an asshole, like, your kid is an asshole, like, it's
even more ramped up with roid rage.
Your kid's on steroids.
It made me think of you on your steroid too.
Okay, well, when I was like,
yes, steroids are crazy.
Yes. I had a steroid shot.
Ready to rock.
Okay, so next week we have
Andrea.
Andrea?
Yeah, Andrea Card.
Andrea Card from...
she makes this beautiful wine. Coppola.
So she is, like, the head winemaker. Is that what the title? For Delicato, who is the parent company of Coppola and Noble Vines. Like, so we're going to do, like, a full-on wine tasting, which I'm so excited about. So we're going to do a wine tasting mixed in with the show. It's
going to be greatness.
So she'll just be there. We'll just be, don't you think we should just do, like, the whole thing together? Like, she's there. We're doing a tasting while we do the show.
Yeah, that sounds great.
It'll be super fun. I'll have Tales from Mexico.
Can't wait. You're going to have Listen to Taylor.
So excited.
Some more Taylor, some of the deep cuts.
I have folklore written on my notes.
Perfect. We're all set.
Yeah, so that's good. Okay, well, give Anna our love.
Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, she's still sleeping in bed with me.
And I'm so glad you listen to your mama instinct.
God, I usually fuck that up.
Word to the wise.
I did the right thing for once.
You did. You don't fuck it up.
I know. Especially when you're sleeping, though, it's even harder because you're like, I just want to go back to sleep.
Oh, so,
you know. But
it's like the puke. Like, do we just wait till the morning, or do we just power through this right now?
Never a dull moment with these kiddos.
Okay, so next week, never a dull moment. Okay, we'll be back in studio next week with Andrea Card from Delicato. We're going to do a wine tasting. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. So okay, we'll enjoy your trips, and we'll catch up soon.
Oh. Okay.
All right, love you back.
Love you,
Mom game out.
The Mom Game is proud to partner with local Geico offices, Victoria Elliott, proudly serving your local community.